right, PIX11 is your election headquarters, and with early voting in New York just, 10 days away, there is a lot to learn about all of these candidates running for office.
Absolutely. New York City residents will be casting their ballots for key races that will shape the city's future, literally. PIX11 is proud to be a sponsor of candidate forums being held at the 92nd Street Y, where voters get to ask questions and learn more about those candidates. Seth Pinsky is the CEO of the 92nd Street Y, and he joins us on this Wednesday morning with a nice preview of the two final forums taking place this and next week. Seth, great to have you.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for having me. Good morning.
Yeah, so it's underway. Tomorrow night is the second of 3 forums being held at the 92nd Street Y. What's been the response so far, Seth, from the community?
Well, we've been really pleased with the response. I think there's a hunger out there in New York right now for real leadership. There's an understanding that this is a critical election for the future of our city. We're facing mutual crises, many different crises happening all at the same time. Crises of injustice, crises of deteriorating quality of life, an economic crisis. And we've just been thrilled to see New Yorkers tuning in and watching these forums to try to understand what our future leaders have in store for us.
Yeah, so last week you hosted the comptroller candidates. Tomorrow night, the candidates for Manhattan Borough President will be in the hot seat. So how many candidates are you having participate in this forum?
Well, we're going to have, I think, pretty much all of the candidates for Manhattan Borough President. We have almost all of the candidates for mayor who have agreed to participate in the forum on June 7th. And we're hoping that we'll have 100% attendance by the time the forum occurs. What we're really excited about with the mayoral forum in particular is that it's going to be live with an audience, which is something that I think the candidates have been hungering for, and I think New Yorkers have been hungering for, to see these candidates interact with the people of the city.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So next week, Seth, the forum is taking place on Monday, and it's going to feature PIX11's very own Ayanna Harry, as the moderator for that mayoral forum. That event will be a hybrid, part of it online, the other half live. Can you paint a picture of what that's going to look like for us?
Well, we'll have an audience in our Kaufman Concert Hall that will be there to hear and react to the positions that the mayoral candidates will be putting forward in response to the questions from the moderators and discussions with one another. I mean, what we're really looking for here, and for the benefit not just of the in-person audience, but also the online audience that we'll have, is unlike with other mayoral forums and forums for candidates, we want to have a really considered conversation. We'd like to give the candidates time to answer and to develop their answers so that we're not just looking for 10-second sound bites, but real substance, because the problems that we're facing are significant, and we need our candidates to be able to do more than just give the tightest answers. We need them to really be able to offer solutions.
Yeah, so let's talk about how people can get involved in this. Voters will be able to submit questions for the remaining forums, right? So how do they go about doing that?
Well, if they go to our website, 92y.org, they can find the link to the information. We're also co-sponsored with WPIX and with City and State, and they can submit questions that way as well. But the goal here is to really have the questions that New Yorkers are hungering to have answered for them, and to have them answered in a substantive way. And in addition to the broader challenges that the city is facing, whether it be the quality of life issues that I talked about a few minutes ago, or budgetary issues, we also in particular are hoping our candidates are going to focus on the challenges that are facing our sector, the arts and cultural sector, which has been particularly hard hit during this pandemic.
And Seth, we know there's going to be no shortage of questions coming your way. So how many are you looking to select, especially since you want to make them as thorough as you can in terms of the answers?
Well, you know, I think part of that will be driven by the conversation on the day and how in-depth the interaction actually ends up becoming. But certainly we'd like to have as many different topics covered as possible, because the challenges that the next mayor is going to face are diverse. And I think we need to hear from those candidates on as many of those challenges as possible.
So submit your questions. We'll see what makes it to the forum. Seth, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much, and we look forward to having your viewers tuning in.
Absolutely.